Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another HarstemCasts video. Today we're going to be having a look at a game played between, yes, Maru and Rogue. Here Rogue in the bottom right, Maru in the top left. Maru playing for Team NV, the newly, couple of months old, I think it is a Korean team. With lots of top players, Bunny, Maru, Creator, and I'm missing a couple. Used to have SOS, but SOS recently retiring as well, of course. And DPG has been a bit of a powerhouse for a long time already, having Dark, having Parting for a certain amount of time. I think Cure is still part of DPG as well. Korean players tend to switch their teams quite often, but DPG seems to have kept on to Dark and Rogue for a pretty long time already at this point. So we see Maru opening up with a solid 2 refinery opener. And going into what seems to be a more standard Hellion approach. Recently we've seen a lot of the 2 racks out of Maru, 2 racks into the 3 medevac push that a lot of Terrans kind of love playing again. It's really gone away for a long time, the 2-1-1, but they found some new tricks, some new innovations with the build, and they're like, okay, we can spam this every single game again, and does it commence? They started spamming this build every single game again. So we'll see if Maru is still capable of playing some cars as well. It's going to be how many cars? 4 cars into Viking. Now, he can go into 6 car single Viking, or he can go up to 8 cars, add a Liberator into the mix as well. We already technically could be Battlecruiser still as well. Well, Fusion Core would have had to gone down already at this point. Also, I think most people... Nah, actually, I was going to say most people prefer Battlecruiser with triple CC, but that's not true. We've seen a lot of... 2 gas into Battlecruiser and then a 3rd CC. So here these Hellions will start targeting down the creep immediately, and these queens will need to, well, they gather back up and say, well, we need to throw down some tumors there once again. Liberator indeed is going to be the follow-up, so it's going to be Viking into Liberator. Rogue scouts all of this with his pneumatized carapace and sees, hey, that's going to be a starport, and hey, what's that second unit going to be? Very doubtful that indeed is going to be a medevac or a Viking, so most likely a Liberator. Wouldn't surprise me if Rogue decides to build a Spore over here, maybe a Spore over here, like in these random locations that are good for fighting off Liberator harass. The problem with playing against a Viking, of course, is that a lot of your vision is going to get denied. A Viking is a bit like an idiotic Void Ray. It doesn't do as much damage, it's slower, it has larger range, but it deals with Overlords a little, not quite as good as a Void Ray does. Let's put it like that, alright? It's the idiotic brother of the Void Ray, the Viking. The Viking is, he wants to be just as good as the Void Ray, but let's be real, he just isn't. So he will be able to push away these Overlords, but he won't likely be able to kill them, and thus the Overlord should be capable of spotting where the Liberator go. Here comes one of these spores that I was mentioning earlier. This is a nasty position though, there's no creep yet on the high ground here. The spore doesn't reach, the single queen will start attacking it, but Maru is just going to be absolutely happy with denying mining here for now. He's gonna land the Viking in the main base as well and actually go for a couple of kills. He isn't going to unsiege that Liberator, which is surprising. He's also going to be losing all of his Hellions for free. This single Viking actually dealing more damage than these 8 Hellions did combined. I think it is 8, right? Yep, 8 Hellions, a Liberator gone down, and it's the Viking that gets 6 kills. 8 Hellions for a single drone. Now that is a trade that is not approved by Donald Trump, and thus is a trade we won't approve either here, as this Viking is going to try to take out the Overlord. But like I mentioned, the idiotic brother of the Void Ray can just throw sticks from a distance, or... It's like one of these kits with a slingshot with paper in it, you know? A wet ball of paper, sticks nicely to the ceiling or to the walls in the classroom. I remember back in the day when I was a young boy. We had these blowpipes of like, I'm not quite sure what they were made of, but you put a little paper dart in it, and you had this ceiling where stuff would stick in. You could just blow these little white darts into the ceiling. Then after a while they'd come down. You could also do it with spitballs. You'd put some spit on a ball, then blow them into the ceiling, and once the spit dried up, the ball would come down a couple of hours later on an unsuspecting student that was sitting there enjoying his math homework. The golden days of high school, oh, how much I miss those. We see Maru sending out his first 2 medevacs, as the first Ling run by has commenced and absolutely failed flat on its face. fell flat on his face. Fourth base is, well, it's going to get cancelled. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be a cancel, but it seems like Rogue has no real intention of saving it. Instead, Rogue says, hey, if you're going to cancel my fourth base, I'm going to kill a bunch of your workers. And even though that doesn't seem like a great trade, the fact of the matter is that I built 2 bases at the same time. So this basically was a decoy. Maru forgetting to micro there for a second, of course busy with everything here in the third. This was a great call by Rogue, honestly. I love that. A little bit of a decoy fourth base, saying, hey, this is a fourth base, you probably want to kill it. Maru sending 2 full medevacs there, and Rogue says, okay, I'm just not going to defend it. I'll keep maybe 2 or 3 banelings at home. Actually, he didn't keep anything at home, just kept queens at home, and just started run-buying with his entire army and saying, well, I can still just take this base at the same time as well. Meanwhile, taking up the Mutalisk. Man, Rogue is playing a fantastic game here so far. This Ling run-by didn't end up too great, but he did do a lot of damage initially. Denied a lot of mining here, killed 7-8 workers, and he denied 2 full medevacs, well, killed 2 full medevacs, denied the Marines the right to live. And I do believe that living is a human right. Now, we do have the first mutas flying their way across the map, or making their way across the map. It's going to be 12 mutas to be exact. 1-1 has finished up here for Maru, and these mutalisks will most likely get pushed back by this small marine force. At the same time, the secondary fourth base, which initially got thrown down as a fifth, needs to be careful. He can't lose that base. He also needs to be very careful against these mine drops. This is not drilling claw mine drops yet, so it's not going to be quite as effective as these would be. But there's no detection here whatsoever. I mean, there's a single spore here, but that's most likely not going to be it. This spore needs to move itself as well, re-establish itself in a different area. Mutalisk count still only at 12. 2 more are being added, and where minutes. Let's say 6 till 8 were good for Rogue. Minute 8 to 9 was fantastic for Maru here. And the game kind of swung back into, not necessarily Maru's favor, but into a more even state right now. 2-2 is halfway done. 1-1 isn't even done yet here for Rogue. Rogue has been on a very low drone count this entire time. He's now establishing his 5th base, is getting a macro hatch as well in the main. And sure, Rogue is still up about 20 supply, but being down in upgrades, 4th base being halfway done, and the 2nd factory already producing are big things that Maru definitely likes. The extra 3 barracks are going to be going down, and the added on tech lab surely will provide a lot of tanking power for the army that Maru can get. For now though, Rogue should probably focus a little bit on spreading creep, as especially the creep here on that 6 o'clock base is very little. The reason for that is because seems like Rogue just hasn't focused on it that much. It's not like Maru has been crazy aggressive towards this 6 o'clock. It's just been that Rogue has been crazy aggressive and kind of preoccupied with other things. We now have another Ling run by, but without... Oh, this is beautiful. This is a hole in the wall. It's a hole in the wall that's saying, hey, come in, my friends. This is a good opener. The only hole in the wall, of course, is a Widow Mine there, so we'll be able to blow up a lot of these Lings once they walk past. 21 Mutalisk. Is there any upgrades? No. +1 is about to finish. That's going to help. I'm not quite sure what I base this on, but the +2 upgrade for the Muta makes them capable of destroying turrets and basically everything so much quicker. It really feels like that's one of them vital upgrades for the Mutalisk. +1 is good, but really +1 is mainly a vehicle to get to that +2, which once you get that, your Mutalisk are going to be golden. Single mine over here should be taken out as well. Overseer's trailing a little bit behind. Banelings are being set up, and another mine is going to get taken out before it gets to detonate. And this is really how Zerg is supposed to play. So with the Mutalisk, you basically clear the path for the Ling Bane run-bys, making sure that there's no Widow Mines on the way. Now immediately, of course, the Widow Mine gets replaced here by Maru. That mine is just going to get about 6-7 Lings or so. The rest of the army will take care of all of these Lings that came as the backup. Meanwhile, the Mutas go over into the main base. There is a turret there, but there's really just not enough Maru to deal with these Mutas. Just he can push them away at least for a little bit, which is nice. I think Rogue can even take out 1 or 2 of these turrets. He's gonna go for both. I do like that. If you can keep the turret count low, this type of move remains viable throughout the game. Now, 2 more mines are gonna get sniped. He's gonna go for 3. Oh yes, Viking sensor tower. What you wanna go for, buddy? Sensor tower. There we go. You can have it. Is going to burn down. As cool guys don't look at explosions. They just walk away, or in this case, they fly away. That's what the Mutalisk here are doing. This bottom side base still has very little creep. There's no forces near... Oh, I lied. There's loads of forces nearby. It's a rather explosive force as well. At the same time, a massive run by heading towards the third base. 2 mines will try to get into position. Will not be able to blast any of these units down, though. With these banelings rolling in forward, I think a lot of these Marines are going to fall. The Mutalisk will reign supreme in the skies. I think the Mutalisk can fight this. I think you can. I think Rogue is a little bit too afraid here of 4 Marines and a Thor, especially with the Ling reinforcement. I'm surprised that these Mutas go back home. Now, this force perhaps is a threat, but I mean, there were reinforcement Lings coming in already. There's still enough larva to keep producing. Was it really necessary to go home with this Mutalisk? I think he could have broken Maru here, but instead Rogue decided to go home, clean up this little army, but I wonder if that's actually better. Now, majority of the army is even going to get home. 3-3 finishes up for Maru, and Maru will be setting up another big push. Yes, 2 command centers here. One will turn into an orbital, one will fly over to the 5th to turn into a planetary. Do we have any of the upgrades yet for building armor or turret range? No, we don't. I think these upgrades are going to be vital as Flyer Attacks level 2 is about to finish up. Like I said, based on nothing that this upgrade is good, but in my head this upgrade is absolutely fantastic. Don't tell this to your friends, but on this channel we believe the Flyer Attacks upgrade to be absolutely vital. At least the level 2 one. Look at that, how fast these turrets are going down. Ridiculous, the power of these Mutalisks. Ling run by into the third base at the same time as well, and I think a bunch of the SCVs will... This is not being controlled. Look at this, a single Ling is attacking a turret. 2 Lings are attacking a refinery. Meanwhile, the Mutalisk is going absolutely ham with those strong +2 upgrades. 2 E-bays here are empty. Could start researching something. But I guess not if Rogue has something to say about this. This E-bay will get killed. Second E-bay could also be taken down. Rogue is playing a fantastic game. Both players playing extremely quick here. A Terran with higher APM than a Zerg is extremely rare just because all Zergs use a repeat rate trick, which means that Maru is actually insane average APM, by the way. 400 APM is extremely high. That is just really, really fast. There's very little people that are this fast, unless they're Zergs, but like I said, they use a repeat rate trick, so their APM is all fake. Oh, big mine hit here. Maru actually still pushing forward, and even though he's taken a lot of damage, still has a sizable army. Now, not a lot of that army is here. I'm not quite sure where it is. They're mainly chasing Mutalisks, it seems like. And Maru wasn't quite sure whether Marauders shoot up. He tried to test it, and indeed Marauders don't shoot up. So a couple Marauders were chasing those Mutalisks around. The Muta control has been fantastic, by the way. 17 Mutalisks are still alive of the 21 that I saw earlier. 5 Mutas have gone down in total, and it's not like these Mutas have been sitting back at home, you know. These Mutas have been aggressive the entire way through. They've been picking off SCVs, turrets, units, basically anything they can get their hands off. The control out of Rogue on this Mutalisk has been absolutely insane. Here come 2 mines, big mine shots, no, small mine shots. These Marines are going to get destroyed as a result of those smaller mine shots. In the main base, the Mutalisk are still having a little party. A couple extra have gone down right now. 3 more Mutas have gone down, bringing the total of that Mutalisk at 8. But if I were to pick to be a unit in Rogue's army, I most definitely would be going for the Mutalisk as another mine gets sniped and another mine gets sniped. Do we have +3 air flyer attacks? No. Rogue says, I got my +2, I can go into the carapace now, and I love that decision. I'm not sure why I love it, but probably means that Rogue agrees with me that the +2 flyer attack is the most important. Ling run by into the third base is going to deny a little bit of the mining here as these banelings start moving forward. This base is actually gonna go down, and I said that Rogue is doing a fantastic job, but he might actually be in a bit of trouble. Majority of this fight is going to be on creep. The Mutas flanking from the back. There's still a lot of Marauders alive, and so are 2 Thors. Should be able to deal with those Mutalisks. Thor gets landed just in time before the medevac dies. There is a single burrowed Ling. I thought it was a baneling for a second. I think Maru actually won this fight, and even though the supplies don't look to be in his favor, the win in that fight does allow him to snipe 2 vital bases for Rogue. Whew. Rogue's still on a pretty decent income though. Of course, he just keeps expanding. This guy is really sick to watch Rogue play because he gets so many bases, and rather than defending the bases, he just says, okay, we can trade 1 base for 1 base, except I have 9 bases and you have 5. So he's basically making 2-for-1 or 1-for-1 trades. But it's all gonna be fine as long as Rogue keeps the momentum going, keeps attacking and keeps fighting. This fight I'm not so sure about. There's a lot of Marauders here, there's a couple of mines, big marine damage output as well. I think we need another run by at this point. Rogue needs to stop the income of Maru, who's currently at 3.2k mineral income per minute. Obviously the unit loss stat is heavily in favor of Maru by about 6,000. And if Maru actually gets to push into the third base, that could be a major issue, because this is a big thing. Once you lose your third base, the path to the natural is open, and once you lose your natural, you're pretty much dead, because that's where your tech is going to be. These are Baneling nests, some other things. There's going to be big ramps, so you need to be, or well, small ramps, but big ramps for the Terran to get to. It would be a major point in this game, a big win. Now Maru seems to actually be switching his attention towards the top right side, leaving an army behind. This army consists of only bio units though, and without any mines, often Lingbane will be able to overrun it. That's exactly what's going to be happening here, as the Marauders just don't deal too well with Banelings and Lings. They're fantastic against Ultralisks, but against Lings and Banelings they don't actually fight well. What are these Banelings doing? Not really being controlled at this point, just stuck behind this. Oh my god, are you joking? Is this gonna save the planetary? No, because Maru didn't think this would happen, so he didn't repair. He was like, oh, these Banelings there behind the Ultra surely are going to get microed at some point. At the same time, Maru takes out a base, so this is a 1-for-1 trade. Mutalisks are flying into the main base once again, and there's just so much money left for Rogue. This is the issue. Does he have the larva though? Yes, he still has 11 larva, more drones going down on the side of Rogue. There is a command center being built here as well for Maru, which means that most likely he can re-establish this base. He even has an extra command center here, which will be going towards a 6th base. There's, what, 4 fights? No, wait, these are changelings. So there's a drop over here, there's an army over here, there's a main army moving into this location where there's still 2 mines burrowed as well. This bottom side base is going to get killed for, I think, a 3rd time at this point in this game. Banelings are trying to secure this right side base, which has now become a vital base in this game. It's one of the last mining bases left over. There's a couple of patches here for Rogue. There's actually 6 patches here, so I didn't quite expect that. The last fully mining base, at least. Rogue is trying to re-establish that 2 o'clock over here as well. Maru says, hey, I don't think I can actually keep my 12 o'clock base. I'm just gonna get the full mulage on that left side base. Look at the income. No! Oh, he needs to move away. That's so painful. How many mules was that? 7 mules being denied their mining time. Oh, that's not going to be cool for Maru. Maru's not going to like that whatsoever. No turrets here, providing no coverage whatsoever. This could have been like a 4k mineral income for Maru. Instead, it's going to be a mere 2.2. There's not enough patches to go around here. Heavy oversaturation on this base. A couple of extra mules are going to drop out of the sky though. It wouldn't surprise me if Maru throws this into an orbital and decides to build one more base over here to go towards that bottom side. On the other hand, Maru does maybe want to get this forward base to kind of use it as a launching point for a 4th time this base on the bottom is going to get taken out or cancelled. And we have a small army with a single medevac here moving towards the top side. I think this should be going towards the top side base, not towards the right. Maru tries to go towards the right, is going to get pushed back by these Lings. Oh well, these mines might actually explode all over the Lings and could potentially be fine. 55 workers left over for Rogue, who has been playing a fantastic game, but right now is struggling with the economy. What is this? An eBay? It's an odd position for an eBay, but it might just be for the extra upgrades. The building armor, the range on turrets and planetary. This has been a pretty sick game, honestly. This actually has been an insanely action-packed game. Here comes another big fight. No creep once again for Rogue. But there's so many Ultras. I think Maru is actually going to get completely pushed back here. For a 2nd time, he will need to evacuate this 6th base. The problem is that this time there's Mutas around. There's no counterattack on the bottom side, which means that Rogue can now decide whether he wants to keep pushing or he wants to refocus his power somewhere else, his attacks, his aggression. What does he want to do right now? That's the question. He's using burrowed Lings more as spotters than anything. I mean, this is not blocking a base. This is merely being used as a spotter. Single mine walks into this top right base. Rogue with the quick responses sends his entire army to deal with a single mine. That might pull him a little bit out of position. Also give Maru some vital time that he needed to try and rotate towards this bottom side. Of course, Maru not aware that there's no base right now on the bottom, on the 6 o'clock. Rogue has been trying to keep that for a long time. Wouldn't surprise me if Maru starts walking there again with at least a significant part of his army. I also don't really like the medevac distribution here, as 7 medevacs are over here with 1/2 of the army, and then there's a single medevac with what seems to actually be the majority of the army. I think this needs to either meet up together again, or he just needs to split 4-4. Yep, and here goes Maru towards the bottom side. But, I mean, Rogue's just not going to give a crap about this, right? I actually think this might be a mistake. This base is practically empty. There's nothing here. Yeah, Maru needs to just go back. There's no use. Once again, look at that. Just using links. Burrowed links for spotters along the way. That's really cool. Worst case scenario, you lose, what? 25 minerals for a single scan? That's a good deal. That's a fantastic deal. And funnily enough, Rogue is actually the one that is starving out Maru at this point. I think this 6th base is going to be everything. If this 6th base gets the land and gets the mine resources, I think Rogue just won't have enough power, not enough momentum to keep it up. However, if Rogue can break this defense, then he can win this game. And here we go. Banelings are rolling forward. Mutas are getting pushed back by these Thors. This fight so far is looking okay for Rogue. It's actually getting an extremely efficient trade here. Probably the first efficient trade of the game. You see the resources lost still pretty close. Rogue completely destroyed that army. I'm surprised. Oh my god. Did 15 Banelings just blow up on a single unit accidentally? Doesn't matter though, because Maru has nothing left. This orbital is going to get taken out. This base is going to get taken out. There will be no more mining left for Maru. But we still have a base here on the top side. Rogue retaking 2 bases at the same time. Perhaps anticipating an attack on the right side right now. Has a bunch of links there, but there's nothing there. And nothing is going to go there. Rogue right now knows, as long as he can keep this base mining, he will win. And he still has this mining as well. He's like, what, 9 patches and 8 patches here. It's a solid 17 patches that he's mining from on the right side. He doesn't need to defend this, but he can, and I think he just will as well. A single mine will not be enough to push these links back. A second mine that I didn't spot, and neither did Rogue, will also not be enough. GG gets called, and Rogue wins the game here on Romanticide. If you enjoyed this game, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all next time for more videos and more exciting gameplay. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.